Rachel? Oh. Yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah. That's what I usually do too. Yeah. Yeah. That's thanks. So wonderful to have another person here. All right. I feel like we have such an intimate group. We should circle up. Welcome. I think I know most of you, or at least seen you before. So if I haven't met you, I'm Rachel, and I'm subbing for Betsy today. So how are people feeling today? I feel like I can't see you, Megan. There you go. Stagger so I can see everybody's wonderful faces. I know there's a lot of anxiety yesterday with the storms. Everybody fared okay. Okay. Yeah. My kids packed up their most precious belongings and dragged them to the basement rooms. Some of the things they chose, I was very surprised about. My 6-year-old, it was just her stuffy, as many of her stuffy collection as would fit in one laundry basket. But we were glad to have fared okay. And hopefully everybody on Zoom, you all are okay this morning. You have power if you're here probably, but yeah, a lot of anxiety and a lot of memory from the derecho. If you all are calling in from a place that's not Iowa City, probably saw on the news yesterday, huge lines of storms that came through the whole Midwest. And I know there's a lot of communities that are suffering storms that happened earlier this week as well. So my plan for our practice today is to have a nice grounding practice. We'll get into the lower body, hips and hamstrings. Of course, we'll get into the shoulders as well. So we'll be using a strap. So if you don't have one, if you want to grab one, giving them out to your neighbors. And then is anyone else a Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball fan? Was anyone else up very late last night at an amazing game? If you're not a fan, just watch the highlights and you will become a fan instantly. I am so excited to watch this women's team. And if you don't know, they were playing against the #1 seeded team who's been undefeated since last year's championship and somehow managed to eke out a win. And actually, that's part of my inspiration for our theme today. Is to be talking about our own limiting beliefs. So a lot of times we have stories about ourselves, we have stories about the world, we have stories about the way the world works that can sometimes really limit our ability to take any action, right? It's like, well, why even try? Or who am I to believe that I could do such a thing, that I could make a difference, that I could win this game, that I could stand up against, the status quo or power. And I think a lot of times we get into our own way and kind of stop ourselves from even stepping up, right? From even trying. And that idea of limiting beliefs comes from, it's a belief, right? And it limits our action. And what I love about beliefs is that we can experiment with a different belief, right? We can tell ourselves a different story. Who cares if it's true? In some ways, if we can experiment with a different way of interacting with the world, a different framework, who knows what's possible? And what we saw last night from the women's basketball team is they said, no one else maybe believed that we could do this, but we believed we could do it. And that's all it took. We never doubted ourselves. Things might not always turn out the way that we want to. In that case, it did, right? But what happens when we allow ourselves to dream those big dreams, right? To think, what if? Why not me? What if it is possible to make a difference in a world that seems like it's never going to change, right? So it's kind of that audacity of shedding some of those old ways of thinking. So that's what we'll be working with today. Maybe there's something in your own life that resonates with. And as I said, we'll be getting nice and grounded, get into the lower body as well and open up the shoulders. So that's our plan. So I'm seated up on a blanket here. If you're on a bolster, blocks, whatever feels good to you. If there's some other position you want to start in this morning, if you want to lie on your back, if you want to go into child's pose, just give yourself permission to do whatever pose that you or position feels right this morning. And as you arrive here, gazing toward the floor, maybe even just allowing your eyelids to softly close. And take a deep breath in through your nose. Just feel this morning, first day of April, You're here, you're alive, you've got a day in front of you, a weekend in front of you, a life in front of you. Take a deep exhale. As you inhale again, maybe feeling the crown of the head lift, feel a lightness to the chest and the upper body. And as you exhale, feel that breath coming in, settling you deeper into the earth beneath you, deep roots, steadiness at our center, at our core. As you continue breathing here, just doing a little scan this morning. Lots of things might have been stirred up this week for you, whatever's unfolding in your life. And part of our practice of yoga is practicing, and maybe we can think of it as agendaless presence, showing up present with our body without an agenda. Just welcoming in whatever's here, whatever's surfacing, whatever's unfolding. Taking a moment to acknowledge as well your physical body this morning. You know, my heart rate was quite high yesterday as the storms were coming through. So as we practice today, just restoring maybe a sense of safety. And bring hands together to join them in front of your heart space here in Anjali Mudra. We're talking about our theme today of limiting beliefs and kind of stepping forward, stepping into whatever's calling us, whatever truth, whatever action, whatever new story. There's an intention that you'd like to set around that. Just take a moment to do so. And take one more breath in together. Exhale, bow your head towards your hands and your heart. And gently release your hands and open your eyes. All right, we're going to start on your back today. So go ahead and clear some stuff off. If you have a strap, have that nearby. And as you go ahead and recline onto your back, just feeling free. Hi, Heather. Feeling free to start however you'd like to this morning. So if you need some stillness, you want to bring knees into your chest, maybe into constructive rest. Our body holds so much wisdom and knowing what is right for us. So yeah, maybe it looks like some people going into happy baby or a nice good morning stretch. Whatever it is you're choosing this morning, yeah, do so with some intention, with some mindfulness. Maybe just bringing your awareness to your back body, wherever you are. If you're on your back, just noticing those points of your body that are touching the floor. When you're ready, we can all bring knees in toward the chest. Give a nice little squeeze and release. So I have hands on top of the shins. Just squeeze and release. Feeling the hip joints kind of plugging in as you squeeze in. And then make some circles with your knees. So take your knees out to the outside of the hips and then bring them into the middle. So you're making circles kind of going, yeah, any way you want to do it really. So I'm separating the knees, but you could keep them together. From there, we'll stretch out. So stretch feet all the way to the bottom of the mat, hands overhead. Nice big mid-morning stretch. Feel free to take it one. Make yourself as long as you can, like someone was pulling on your hands and pulling on your feet. Stretch, stretch, stretch. We'll make a crescent shape here. So moving your hands to the top right corner of your mat, feet to the bottom right corner. You can scoot your hips a little bit to the left, making a little banana shape or a crescent moon shape. Maybe taking right hand on the left wrist and gently encouraging that over to the side as you bow out through your left side body. Maybe even taking your left leg and left ankle crossing over the right. Can you get any more length? Come back through center after your next exhale. We'll move to the other side. So you might scoot your hips a bit to the right. Hands over to the top left corner, feet to the bottom left corner. Noticing perhaps if your right hip maybe is tighter than your left. And then, yeah, grabbing opposite wrist, maybe even crossing that right ankle over the left. Feeling a nice stretch. When you're ready, come back through center. We'll cross right ankle over left knee. And then reach through the window, grabbing the left back of your thigh. Rock a bit side to side if you'd like. With your right elbow, see about gently pressing the right knee away from you as you resist that. So pressing back of the left thigh into the hands as you're using your hands to pull in the leg units. You're getting nice muscle contraction while you stretch. Extend your left leg toward the sky, keeping the same shape. Point and flex your toes, roll the ankle around a bit. I heard some pops. Nice job. From here, set that foot back down. And then we'll cross to the other side. So uncross your right leg, cross your left leg over, reach through the window. So we kind of play this cat and mouse game a little bit here while we're gently drawing our legs in. So you can reach through the window, grabbing the back of your right thigh or right shin. So you're resisting away at the same time that you're pulling in. Left elbow might gently press the left knee open toward the front of the room. And extend right leg toward the sky this time. Bit of a hamstring stretch here. Point and flex your toes, roll around the ankle. Fun little hidden spots of tension, right? Good. Uncross your legs. Set the feet back to the floor. Go ahead and grab your strap. Now loop the strap over your left leg and put it right above the arch of the foot. Kind of where the arch and the ball of the foot meet. And we'll start with the leg close to straight. It doesn't have to be high and it doesn't have to be completely straight, but pushing into the strap like you're pushing on a gas pedal. Resist your thigh toward the front of the room as you pull your foot toward the back of the room. We'll gather both straps in your right hands. We're going to do a little self-assist here. So make an L shape with your left hand. Take your left thumb into your left hip crease, press down toward the front of the room and anchor. So you're like shimmying that hip away from you and then anchoring it down. Then use the strap to pull in. So keep the pelvis level. Nice job. You can release that hand assist. Straighten your right leg toward the floor. And then take your left leg just over about 45 degrees. So we're not going all the way over, just about 45 degrees. It's like one of my favorite stretches these days. So you're angling it toward the windows, crossing like a little bit over the center of the body. So Rachel, move your foot more towards Sean. Sorry, your top leg, your left leg. There we go. All right, point your toes and like sickle your foot in. So you're pressing out through the pinky toe edge of your foot. See if you can feel anything in your outer shin. Keep that left hip pulling down. Nice job. Inhale, come back up through center. We'll switch sides. So strap on the right foot this time. Resist your thigh away as your toes come toward the back of the room. And then press up through the strap like you could like pull the strap out of your hands with your foot. Gather the strap in your left hand, right thumb comes into the right hip crease. It's probably hiked up a little bit. So anchor it down toward the bottom of the mat and toward the floor. Good, then stretch your left leg long. And your right leg is gonna come 45 degrees toward the door. Yeah. And then press out, oh my gosh, that's a hot spot for me, through the pinky toe edge of the foot. Do you feel anything? Oh my goodness. Oh, I love discovering little hidden pockets of tension. Oh my goodness. Release, come back through center. Whew, set that off to the side. Bring these into your chest for just a minute. And eventually make your way to hands and knees. So you can roll forward and back if you want to be a little playful. You can just roll to the side. Once you get there, come around to hands and knees position. Move through a few dynamic stretches here, but before we do so, just wake up your tabletop. I know Betsy's a big fan of non-linear movement, as she likes to call it, and probably you are a fan as well. So we're thinking about our theme of kind of stepping up, stepping forward, not letting our limiting beliefs stop us. I think the first step is always awareness, knowing our own patterning. And sometimes that means our own patterns in our body. Sometimes that means our patterns in our mind. Nice job. From here, find a steady tabletop. So knees underneath the hips, toes can be tucked for a bit more stability. Spread your fingers wide. So go ahead and look at those fingers. And then claw in, like your finger pads have a little clawing action onto the floor, taking a bit of the weight out of the wrists. Reach your right arm up to the sky. We're not quite going to thread the needle, but just reach it up and then wrap it around and just twist. So taking it anywhere on the other side of your body. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back, then reach back up. Right arm reaches up. Good. Then go ahead, pat it back. Twist. One more, reach up. Good. This time we'll thread it through. The right arm comes through. Come to the right side of the head. Your head can come to a block here. It's a nice little support, or even a blanket for a bit of support. So a lot of times when we twist, our pelvis tries to do a lot of the action. So notice right now your left hip crease. See if you can use that hip crease, draw it to the back of the mat. You can even, anchor it back. Maybe twisting open just a little bit more. One more breath here. Good. Inhale, come back out the way you came. Big stretch through the right. And then reset. Left arm reaches up. Good. And then wrap it around, twist, tapping anywhere on the right side of your body. Big wingspan and twist, using your breath. One more, reach. Then draw it through, coming to the left side of the head. on a block or a blanket is fine there. Yeah, palm can be facing up. For your right hand, you could be on fingertips, which might give a little bit more sensitivity there. And then tune into your right hip crease. It's probably hiked up toward the front of your mat. So just gently draw it back, tack it back, lengthening even more through your right side body. Releasing some tension in the shoulders. One more breath. We'll unwind, reach your left arm just the way you came in and set it back down. Rock back onto the heels here just for a moment. If this isn't good for your knees, feel free to go into a cross-legged position. Stretch your arms out to the side. You might have to negotiate with your neighbor. We're gonna make like Popeye strong biceps. Strong, right? All right, then take your hands. So you see how my wrists are really curled in. Make this the last thing to uncurl. So with a lot of tension, like gently uncurl. Ooh, and when you get to the ends, like reach out through your knuckles before you stretch out the wrist. Stretch out the wrist. Yeah, then maybe elongate the fingers. Good. Come back. Give me your Popeye arms. Look at those strong arms. All right, then open up. Keep the wrist tucked in. Do you feel that? Do you feel anything there? Oh my goodness. Stretch out the hands. Ooh, shake, shake, shake. Nice job. All right, here's another little hidden tension place. So you're gonna fist bump yourself. Okay, and then rock forward and gently come onto the wrist. You're gonna straighten any amount and bend a little bit. So just explore here, like holy moly, forearms and wrists. So don't press down too much. A lot of weight is in your knees, but you're just bending and straightening a little bit here. Ooh. Good. All right, we'll sit back under the heels again and shake. Floppy hands. Maybe up and down as well. But let's shimmy out the shoulders. Nice job. One more stretch here. So take your hand, pressing your wrist away. Slide it down. And then other side. Now our hands and feet a lot of times do so much for us. They don't always get as much stretching as the big muscles, but they're important too. All right, come back to hands and knees position. Walk your hands forward of your shoulders and press up and back, downward facing dog. We spent a lot of time grounded so far in our practice. Take a couple breaths here, just feeling into your down dog this morning. Yeah, bend and straighten one leg, perhaps. Maybe wag your tail. Nice. Good intuitive movements, everybody. I love to see it. When you're ready, look forward in between your hands and walk to the front of your mat, standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Might have a block here. So big fan of blocks, bringing the floor a little bit closer. So you can use that if you're forward fold, if your hamstrings are tighter this morning, whatever you'd like. So if you have your hands on your block, then release your head any amount. So you're just bringing your upper body as close as you can, still having the sensation of releasing the head. Your legs do not need to be straight. You can bend them. As you bend your knees a little bit, see if you can tilt your sitting bones to the sky, like a cow tilt with your lower spine. We'll move to a little twist here. So straightening your left leg, opening your left arm to the left, bending your right leg. And then fold forward a little bit. So if you came out of your forward fold, see if you can keep this twist. Fold forward. Good. Exhale to switch sides. We'll open toward the windows this time. Bend your left leg, straighten your right. This is a great IT band stretch if you're a runner, walker, human being. Good. Come back through center. If you'd like, interlace your hands behind your back and stretch your knuckles toward the front of the room. If that's too tight on the shoulders, you can just release the hands to the floor. Good. See if you can seal your palms together and like someone's lifting up your hands, use your arms to lift your whole body to stand upright. Once you get there, find a mountain pose. You can build it from the ground up. So go ahead, look at your feet, spread your toes nice and wide, grow those roots. Legs, same action, pressing down on the feet as you're still pulling up the energy. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe gazing toward the floor or the horizon line. So windy these past couple of days as well, can stir up a lot. Seeing if you can tune in here to your own steady center, that part of you that is unshaken by external circumstances. Maybe it's a part of you that you're growing, or that you're working like a muscle. As you breathe in through your nose, bring your awareness to the crown of your head. Again, see if you can feel sensation right at the crown of the head. As you exhale, that breath travels through the body, anchors your feet more firmly into the earth. Another breath in, feeling both the lightness, brightness of hope, and the anchoring of steadiness. Gently blink your eyes open. We'll inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Good. Left hand grabs right wrist and we'll tilt over to the left. So that same shape we were making before on the floor, now we're feeling it here. Anchor especially through your right leg and see if your arm is rolling forward at all. Actually, I'll have you look really good, but pull that arm bone back of the top arm. Good. Inhale, come up. We'll switch sides, grab other wrist. Draw head of the arm bone back, anchor through your left foot extra so you can stretch up and out. Some of you have a nice smile on your face. I love it. Inhale, come up. Exhale, float your arms down. Good. Roll the shoulders a few times here. Just do 3 times, anchoring breath and movement together. So bend your knees, sweep your arms up, reach up, look up. And exhale, float your arms down to the side like you're going through heavy air with resistance. Inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale. Maybe an open mouth sigh or ujjayi breath. Inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale. Yeah, maybe we needed that. This time we'll reach up and then fold forward. Inhale, you can bring hands together, trace them down the center of your body as you fold forward. Good job, everybody. Inhale, halfway lift, and we'll all have a good sigh as we exhale. Let go of the weak. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Another one here. Pull in. Yeah. One more inhale. And exhale. Hands come down. Good. Step back to downward facing dog. Tuning into our foundation points. So the points that are touching the floor right now. Fingertips, hands. Can you stretch out through your arms and lift your sitting bones just a little bit more? Beautiful. Inhale forward to plank. Roll forward. Shoulders stacked over the wrists. Anchor your heels back and fire up your quads. Good. Back to down dog. Bend your knees as you go back. Inhale forward, plank. Stepping into our power, right? Our core, our power center. Exhale, bend your knees back to down dog. Surprise yourself sometimes, right? Inhale forward. Good. This time, come to your knees or not. Lower all the way through chaturanga. Elbows squeeze in. Nice, Kate. Untuck your toes. Prop up on your right arm so it's parallel to the front of your mat. Bend your left leg. Swim your left hand behind you. capturing the inner or outer part of your foot and gently bring it in. So inner foot toward the outer hip. Yeah. From here, square your shoulders to the front. Maybe traction that forearm back as you lift your chest any amount. Good. Stretch your right leg out too, so it's away from you. So we're getting into the legs, got to get into the thighs. Release other side, prop up on your left forearm. Right foot bends. If you need to, you can always use a strap here, or you can roll to your side. So this might be more accessible. Good. Inner foot toward the outer hip. Stretch out from your right hip through your right knee, all the way through your left toes. And traction that left forearm back as you reach your chest forward. Really nice. Release. Funky cobra, hands outside your mat. Take a moment to just set up your legs and stretch them behind you. So we don't want compression in the low back. Part of the way that we do that is we stretch out the legs, pubic bone down, then stretch your heart forward as you traction your hands back, lift up. So once you're up here, see about softening your heart in the middle, and then reach the heart forward and then up. Shoulders on the back. Oh, let something feel good. Exhale, come down. Good. Inhale, come back up, move in and out, your pace, your breath. Exploring any little spots that feel like they need an extra bit of attention. You might dip one shoulder down and then the other. Lots of nice space here when we have the hands wide. Nice job. Exhale, come down. Once you get there, reach your arms out in front and turn your thumbs up toward the sky. So pinky edge of your hand is down like a little karate chop on the floor. Good. Anchor your torso into the floor and then lift up your head and your right arm as well as your left leg. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Good. See about stretching further away from yourself, both directions. Exhale, come down. Other side. Right foot, left arm, reach. So reach away as you lift up. Anchor that right pinky down to lift a little more. Exhale, come down. Good. One more time, everything together. Thumbs up toward the sky. Flex your toes, stretch them away from you. Hamstrings toward the sky. Can you lift your thumbs? And make a pillow with your hands. Not always easy to step up, step forward. Definitely takes some effort. Always balance that out with some rest. Switch cheeks if you're on one cheek. Gently lift up your head, bring your hands alongside your chest, compress up through tabletop and back through downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot in between your hands into a lunge. All right, so hands either side of the front foot. They can be on blocks here. This is totally fine. Anchor your legs in together. A little challenge here for us today. See if you can float your fingers an inch or two off the floor. Pull your belly in. Woo, good. Then reach all the way up into a high crescent warrior. Sink down into your front leg and plug your left hip in. So pulling toward the front of the mat. Reach up through your fingers, sink down a little more into your front leg. Beautiful, everybody. Exhale to warrior two. So pivot on your back foot. Let's bring hands to the hips first. So you can set up your feet, front heel intersecting the back arch. Move in and out of this front knee bend and just watch your knee. Look for your own patterns here. So some of you might have a tendency for the knee to come in toward the big toe. As you're exhaling, see if you can just track that knee more toward the pinky toe edge of your foot. So keeping in the center, nice alignment before we come into this warrior two. Okay, next time, sink down. Stay here in this nice bend. Inhale, reach your arms up. Flip your palms up and feel your shoulders come onto your back. So feel that action of whoom. Good, and then flip the palms back down. Gaze over your front finger. Nice job. Straighten your front leg, come out of it for just a moment, and release your hands. We're going to interlace your hands behind your back. Okay, bend into your front leg. We're going to exhale to humble warrior. So bow forward, right shoulder on the inside of the right knee. This is a big one. You can release the hands if this doesn't feel good on the shoulders or feels too intense for any reason. Drag your right heel back in space. See about sinking your head a little bit closer to the floor. So good. Release hands inside of your front foot. Pivot on the toes of your back foot. Set your back knee down. Good. Heel toe your right foot off to the right. Lizard lunge. No, I needed to say it like that, but I feel like, what? Lizard lunge. I always laugh at the announcers on TV, like, so, you know, sometimes the things that they say, or they say really mundane things, but with a lot of emphasis, like, we will get people riled up. So, but yeah, that's what. Next up, we have lizard lunge. I love what I see. Some people are really finding stillness here. Other people really moving into a lot of movement through the hips. Really nice. All right. We're going to see about a twist here. So you can either put a block underneath your left hand. Okay, so you could try that first if you'd like, and then you can get rid of the block if you don't need it. Swim your right hand behind you. This might be where you stay, and this might feel like a really nice twist here. You could bend your back foot. See about capturing that back foot for a twisted thigh stretch. So I've reached around the bottom of my foot to grab the pinky toe edge of that foot. Gives me a nice rotation on the shoulder, so my shoulder blade is on the back. You could gently bring your foot in any amount, or just press it back here. Press down with your back knee and drag it forward without moving it. Beautiful, release. All right, grab those both blocks if you don't have them nearby. Heel toe your foot more into the center for half splits or runner stretch. So for me, most of the time I have to kind of bring my front heel forward just a little bit as these toes come up. So just like we worked before, let's take your right thumb into your right hip crease and just kind of first shimmy your hip out to the side and then pull it back in toward the center. Anchor it back. So like you could pull that toward the back of your mat. Front heel anchors down, drag it back in space without moving it, and then use that to pull the chest, oh my gosh, gently forward. So we want an even curve to the back. If you feel really congested in any one particular spot, I would make the blocks higher and just pull back a little bit. So use your breath here, seeing about maybe descending a little bit more. Keep that same action, anchoring the heel down like you could plug your right femur into the socket. Soft breath, deep stretch. One more little action here. See about pressing through the big toe mound. Reach through the big toe mound. Okay, I lied. One more thing. Just like we worked before, sickle your foot in and pull it more into the middle. Oh my gosh, reach through. Good. And then rock your toes out to about 2 o'clock on your clock. Reach through your big toe mound and fold forward. Just getting into the inner and outer parts of that hamstring. Nice job, everybody. Set your right foot down. Hands either side of the front foot. Lift up your back knee and step forward for a standing forward fold. You notice if your right and left foot or left leg feel any differently stretched out there. Inhale, reach your arms up, come all the way up to standing. Exhale down into chair. Feet can be hip bone distance apart or together. Inhale, reach up, stand up, straighten your legs. Good. Exhale, down chair. Inhale, reach up. Good. Hands down through center as you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, side, plant your hands down. Good. Step back to down dog. You want to flow through a vinyasa here, feel free. Otherwise, stay in down dog. If you want to flow through, inhale forward to plank. Anchor your arms in as you lower down. Inhale, chest pulls forward and through. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah. Anytime you want a child's pose, of course, feel free. When you're ready, left foot steps forward in between the hands into a lunge. So find strength in the legs by hugging the legs into the midline. From here, see about floating your hands just a couple inches off the floor. Got to really anchor the legs. Belly pulls in and then sweep the arms up. Torso comes upright. Good. Sink down into the front leg. How much can you straighten your back leg? Can you get it to like 100% straight? Reach through your fingertips, sink down a little more. Good. Float your hands down to your hips. Turn the back sole of your foot down. Line up those feet, front heel, center of the back arch. Yeah. And then in and out. Just paying attention again to those patterns of your knee. Good joint and knee health. We want to make sure, ooh, there's a little pop, that our knee is following in line with our foot. So anytime we are in these positions, just want to try to keep things lined up nice and safe. Next time you come down, just stay there, working the front knee over the front ankle. Inhale, reach your arms up. Good. Let's all flip our palms up and see if you can really roll those shoulders, anchor them onto the back. Really nice. Then you can turn your palms back down, gaze over your front finger, find steadiness, even in difficulty. Good. Straighten your legs to release your hands. Interlace your fingers so you can do your normal grip and then switch your thumbs and all your fingers. Good. Bend through your front leg again. Exhale, humble warrior, left shoulder on the inside of the left knee. One more nice soft breath. Good. Release your hands down. Come on the toes of your back foot. Good. Right knee comes down, heel toe your left foot off to the left. Now I'm self-conscious of saying it again. Lizard lunge. I was a theater kid, so. So yeah, find stillness, find movement here. You might even rack this hip open by coming to the pinky toe edge of the left foot. From here, we'll try that twisted thigh stretch. So you can bring a block underneath your right hand if you'd like, or keep it on the floor. Left arm swims behind you. This might be a great twist, just working here. You could even take hand to the low back. Otherwise, bend your back foot. I'm reaching for pinky toe edge, gently drawing it in. You might even lift your hips toward your foot. And then you could see about pulling that in, then descending your hips down a little bit more. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes. Release the foot if you had it grabbed, and we'll move toward our half splits. So toes come up of your left foot. Feel free to pick up your left heel and move it just an inch or two forward. See what works for you there. And then widen your left seat. So kind of like shift your hips to the left so that then you can feel the contrast of squeezing that hip in and back. So anchor the hip back. And fold forward any amount. Press the front heel down without moving it. Drag it back, plugging in your left femur. Again, even curve to the back, or trying to keep the back as straight as you can. Turn your toes more into the center, kind of sickling the foot, stretch out through the pinky toe edge. Whew. Come back through center, take the foot out to about 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Oh, good. All right, set that front foot down. Did I forget anything? Yeah, what did I forget?
Oh,
yeah. Okay, you're like, yeah, I felt something. Good, step forward. You're like, yeah, we forgot. I felt something. Do we forget to feel anything? All right, sweep your arms up to the side. Come all the way up to standing, hands down through the heart. Woo. Thank you, legs. All right, we're gonna grab a blanket. So go ahead and set this toward the front of your mat. If you're at home, a towel would work great. Anything firm, you can actually even use a block here. And the height of your blanket, and we're going to be stepping on the blanket and doing pyramid pose. So it's going to be a little extra sensation. So the higher that blanket, the more potentially intense that will be. So as we do this, you can see if this doesn't work for you for any reason, you can just do it on the floor. If you want it higher, if you want it lower, you get to choose. Okay. So feet about hip bone distance apart. We'll step your left foot forward, and just like we're stepping on a gas pedal here. So pressing in. All right, let's feel those hips. So kind of move them around a little bit. We can feel where they are in space. Good. And then we'll try to anchor them to be in line with each other. So a lot of times people say square your hips to the front. Kind of I always wonder where the square is exactly, but we want the hip points facing in the same direction. Okay. Press down through your foot. So especially through that big toe mound, like it's a thumbtack, you could like anchor it down. Okay. From here, reach your chest forward as you hinge your hips back. And hover just halfway where you like, whew, feel anything. Good. Then when you're ready, release your hands. You can have them at blocks on your thigh or on fingertips. And just like we were working with our half splits here, again, anchor your front hip so that left hip crease pulls back and down as you maybe descend a little bit more, maybe release your head, even curve to the back. Take an inhale, maybe come halfway out, get a little bit more length in your spine. And as you exhale, find the descent, find the space, maybe find the sensation. One more halfway lift. A lot of times opening these big muscles takes some patience. Exhale, fold. So can we just be present, agendaless presence? If you're feeling good, stay right here. If you'd like a little bit more, we'll try revolved triangle. You can bring your left hand on this blanket, or sorry, your right hand on the blanket or on the floor, and then other arm reaches up. So your left arm opens to the left. Notice what happened to your pelvis here. Try to even it out. Oh my gosh. Good. Release, hand down. Let's come to the hips, come all the way up to standing. Take that foot off. Yeah. Yep, there's the hamstring muscle. Let's try the other side. So your choice here. Some people, like pyramid with heel to heel alignment. I prefer a little bit more width. So you can see what feels good to your body. Find those hips in space. So big thing, we just want to pay attention to all these little patterns, especially when we're twisting. A lot of times we will twist more from the pelvis, and we want to try to get a nice twist through the spine. So anchor through the legs, press through that front foot, reach your chest forward and hover kind of halfway, press down through that front foot and back foot evenly. And then fold forward, release, hands to the blanket or to blocks. Right hip crease, where is it? You might even want to make that connection and bring your left thumb, or sorry, your right thumb into that right hip crease. And take a couple breaths. Inhale, come out, get some length in the spine. Exhale. Be patient with your hamstrings. No judgment. Inhale, halfway, and exhale. Keep that pressing action on the gas pedal. Opening to the windows if you'd like to try revolved here. Left hand on a block or on the blanket. Once you get to the twist, see if anchor the right hip back. Oh, twist through the spine. Oh my gosh. All right, release your hand down. We're going to do a forward fold with both feet on the blanket. So step your back foot forward. So get those toe mouths on the blanket. Bend your knees a little bit as you fold forward. Inner thighs roll back and apart. So arch your low spine like a cow tilt. Release your head and then see about straightening your legs any amount. Oh my gosh. Resist your shins forward, so we're not hyperextending the knees. And then just stay in your forward fold, but step off your block or off your blanket and see if your forward fold feels any more open. Really nice. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands down through the heart. That is some profound work you're doing, whether you realize it or not. We'll do one more standing pose here before we come down, moving to tree pose. Balance first on your left leg, take a little bend through your left leg. Right foot can be anywhere on the left. And I always give this option, but just like Rachel's doing, you can step off your mat. Even that little bit of a cushion of the mat can make balance a little bit extra challenging. So stepping on the actual hardwood floor can be really helpful. If you're at home on a carpet, don't underestimate how much more challenging that is. You could pop into your bathroom if you want some tiled floor here. All right, so just like we've been working the pelvis today, squeeze the outer hips in, reach up through your spine. Yeah, and you can reach the arms up, any variation you want here. Beautiful, everybody. And working the sensation of feeling both anchored and really lifted, open in the upper body. Maybe turn the outer edges of the mouth up. Hands come down through the heart. Good, and release. Try the other side. I always have to look at the foot that I want to balance. Like, all right, you ready? It's your time to shine. Once you have that anchor point, so you just don't want it directly on the knee, anywhere else is fine. Press back into each other, squeeze your outer hips in and lift up. Any arm variation you'd like on this side. Really open the legs, feel how steady they can be supporting us. And release down. Nice job. Give it a little shake. And take your blanket off of your mat there. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, come down. Moving toward pigeon pose. Place your hands down. Step back to down dog. And then reach your right leg up and then forward and through. Right knee comes towards the right wrist. If you prefer to do this figure 4 on your back, feel free. We'll look back at our left knee. You might walk it back in space just a bit. Keep it parallel to the side of the mat. So find your expression of this pose today. Yeah, you can come to forearms. If you're looking for more intensity, front shin can be more parallel to the front of the mat. Flex your front foot. You might even place your hand into the sole of your foot. Press with your foot into your hand, hand into your foot. Kate's got a nice twist going on here. If any of you like the twisted pigeon, kind of like the thread the needle. So you can come up onto right fingertips, left forearm can come through. This is a pretty deep twist. Left side of the head comes down. Yeah, Rachel's got a thigh stretch going on, whatever you'd like. Take one more slow exhale and then unwind. Take your time, lift your back knee, stretch back to down dog. And transition to the other side. Left knee forward and through. Walk your right knee back in space. Get an option to do this on your back if you'd like. And put right hand into the sole of your left foot, pressing hand into foot, foot back into hand. And then take any other variation you did on the other side. If you want to do the twist, coming up on the left fingertips and then threading your right arm through, coming to the right side of the head. Gently unwind. This time we're just going to sit onto your left side and swing your right leg around. Hands can come behind, point and flex the toes. Nice job. Move to a Janu Shirshasana. So take your left leg out to the side, right leg can be in here on the inner thigh. For some of you, sitting up on a blanket or two or three, whatever you need can be good here. So you can see what allows you to feel like you can sit up straight. So if you feel really rounded, that's where you want to sit up high, okay? So take your hands on the inside of your thigh, roll that thigh back. So I'm taking the inner hand, rolling it down, other one's pulling it back. Do that with your whole leg there. Anchor the heel down, flex your toes. First, we're just going to fold forward right down the center. It might just be like an inch. You're like, yep, an inch. Maybe a millimeter. Anchor the left thigh toward the floor. If you're sitting up on a blanket, it won't go toward the floor. That's fine. There's just that heavy feeling. If you feel like you're getting a lot of sensation there, right where you are, just stay here. Otherwise, you can walk your hands over. Take one hand on the outer extended leg, other hand on the inner. So you're twisting, inner body twist, belly twisting over extended leg. Anchor the heel down, drag it back in space so you're plugging that leg in. Couple more options here. You can take your right hand anywhere on the outside of your left leg. Might even be at the pinky toe edge, maybe not. I'm up on fingertips of my other hand and using that to gently twist. Ooh. Good. We'll back up a little bit here. Before we switch sides, we'll move to a revolved variation. Could have a block on the inside of this extended leg, forearm down. Okay. Other arm can reach up and over. All right. This is another one of my lately favorites. Take your hand, wrap it around your head, grab your opposite ear. No, that sounds really weird. And then reach out from your elbow. Oh my gosh, through your toes, spinning open. Inhale, come up. One more thing on this side. Left hand on the outside of the knee, just twisting over. Come back through center. Put your hand under this leg. Whew. Give it a little assist to switch sides. Is that a trash bag or a bird? Oh, a trash bag. I know, I was like, wow, those are really big wings. Nope. Walk your sitting bones back and apart. You might do it a couple times just to really feel those sitting bones. One hand on the inner thigh and outer, roll it in so you have more of the surface of your thigh kind of pressing toward the floor. Again, if you're on a blanket, it won't be touching. That's totally fine. Just first come down the center here. So even though that leg might be up or your knee might be bent, we're just having the action of pressing down and pulling, plugging that leg in. So we keep so much nice activity while we're stretching. It's a really safe way to stretch. Also builds muscle tone and engagement. You know what is the right choice for you, so stay here if you'd like. Otherwise, crawl your hands over, one hand on either side of the leg. See if you can twist from the left side of your body, twist and reaching over. Again, we're not forcing, just exploring. Maybe even taking left hand, grabbing the pinky toe edge of the foot, up on fingertips of the right hand, and then using the fingertips to press down and twist open. Inhale, come up. Grab that block if you used it last time for a revolved variation. So have palm up, forearm down. Right arm or left arm reaches up and over. For a lot of us, our shoulder will tend to come down here. So see if you can like spin, use this bottom arm to spin your heart open. If you want to grab opposite side of the head, reach through your elbow. Lean back a little bit. Oh my gosh. Inhale, come up. Let's come to your back. Oh, I forgot the twist. Thank you. Yes, forgot. Keep me honest. Can't forget that one. What do I think we need before we come to the floor? Remove your blanket. Come right here. I'll take your blanket out. Just a little bit of core work that I am searching for a name for. It's my weird space anti-gravity person. Do you remember this? I know Rachel remembers this one. So walk your sitting bones back and apart. If you just want to do traditional boat pose, you can, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna pretend like we're astronauts in space and we're in zero gravity. So lift up your feet and you're gonna just move around randomly. Okay, you can take your hands up, you can take them down, you can come low, you can come high. Confusing your brain, it's good for you. It's also working your core. What? Oh, nonlinear boat. Oh, we got to tell Betsy we have another nonlinear thing. I love it. It's a boat in a tumultuous sea. Oh, when your hip flexors have had enough, roll onto your back. Oh, bring your knees in toward your chest. Thank you all for making me laugh today. Gonna have some good metaphors about our boat in a tumultuous sea. All right, set the feet down. Let's come to constructive rest. Take your feet toward the outer edges of your mat. You can allow your knees to knock in toward the center. Hands on the belly. Take a deep breath into the low belly, maybe feeling the belly lift up into the hands. And release down. Deep diaphragmatic breaths here. Be even seeing if you can notice your lungs expanding to the front, back, and sides. I'm going to give you all a couple of minutes to finish out your practice in the way that you would like. If you want to stay here, it's a great option. I'll give you a couple of other options. Could slide a block underneath the low back for supported bridge or legs up the wall variation. Some of you might want to do bridge or wheel, plow pose, maybe a supine twist. Just take 2 or 3 minutes here. You're doing something that has 2 sides. Be switching to the other side. You are happy where you are. You are welcome to stay. Otherwise, we will set it up for Shavasana. I'll grab some eye pillows in case anybody wants one. If you want a bolster, catch my eye. I'm happy to bring you one. If you want any extra props, I'd be happy and delighted to bring them to you. Yeah, let's see if we have sandbags. Anybody else want an eye pillow? Yeah. Really taking a deeper breath. Inviting in small movements. Just being so mindful as we emerge from this resting. Taking your time to eventually roll to your right side. Pause in the fetal position. You're able to keep eyes closed. You can do so as you press back up into a seat. Joining hands back together in front of your heart. Just acknowledging if there's anything that bubbled up for you today, any of your own limiting beliefs that might be holding you back from stepping more fully into your power or your authentic self, or the dreams that you have that might be so wild and big, they might scare you a little bit. Knowing that we have a right to show up as our full self, that we're being called to do so, to do those things that we are uniquely suited to do. With that, we'll take one more breath in together. As you exhale, bowing your head towards your hands and your heart. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Thanks for letting me be here with you today. Hope to see you again. I teach at our free community class on Fridays sometimes, usually about once a month, and then I teach Monday mornings at 9 as well. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Otherwise, take good care today. What? Oh, thank you. So fun to practice with you, Sean. Thanks everybody on Zoom. Good. Oh. See you Monday, Margaret. Yes, thank you. Glad it was just what you needed, Karen. Good to see you, Karen Gordon, too. I think Betsy will like the nonlinear boat. Yes, Teresa, you all are going to have to tell her about that. Bye, Lucinda.